What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if we will get the Harry Potter open world RPG announcement at Gamescom 2020. So this is the start, kind of, and I've done this actually before with Dying Light 2, the start to talking about Gamescom. So Gamescom is obviously hosted by Jeff Keighley this year, right? Just like the same way he did it last year. And this year, it is a event, kind of like an I hope, let's say, I don't want to guarantee it, right? But like an E3 kind of style video presentation, maybe even like what you would have seen at the Game Awards, hopefully a little bit bigger than that, right? And that is Thursday, August 27th. And then from Friday, the 28th through the 30th, I think only like maybe the Friday and Saturday is going to be during the day. They're going to have like developer, showcases. They're going to talk about their games. They're going to show off their games. Hopefully, honestly, can be absolutely amazing, can really be a big thing. So again, a few weeks ago, I think it was last week, I talked about Dying Light 2. In this video, let's talk about this Harry Potter game. So this isn't the first time. In fact, funny enough, because I've been covering this game for so long now, and honestly, well, firstly, I'm very blessed, honestly, that I have all of you guys watching. I couldn't be happier to have such an awesome community with me. Funny enough, though, I started talking about this game, I'd say like last May, somewhere in the April-May range, and I made a video last year talking about if it would be at Gamescom, okay? So, obviously, we've been through a lot together, right, as a group. It wasn't at last year's Gamescom, but honestly, could it be at this year's? Well, here's the deal. We know Gamescom is literally the week after DC Fandom. So DC Fandom is August 22nd, right? And that is, in my opinion, when they're going to reveal the Batman game and Rocksteady's game, whether it's Suicide Squad, whether it's Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, whether it's just a whatever it is, okay? I think they're going to show both those games. I think there'll be trailers. And then, honestly, like, after that day, okay, it's not like my hype or my enthusiasm for these games go out the window. No, they're probably actually going to be sky high because we're going to know about all of these different games, right? But honestly, in terms of like mystery, in terms of like getting something that we don't have yet, all my attention turns to Harry Potter. Now, again, am I going to cover Batman? Am I going to cover Rocksteady? Obviously, I'm going to cover it a ton. But Harry Potter is next up. And again, we know this game does exist. We've heard multiple times that this game is coming out in 2021. I've always said fall of 2021. So I'm going to stick with that, and I think I'm going to end up being right about it. But I really do think this game is coming out at that time. Now, again, you could be saying, well, Warner Bros. Has that thing where they announce their game and it comes out soon after. They're breaking tradition with these games. Batman, I really do feel like was supposed to come out this fall, but got pushed. Rocksteady's game, I really feel like they're going to try and shoot for like Arkham Nighttime, like late June. I really do feel like, or May, June, somewhere in that late spring, early summertime. I really do think that's the time. So again, they're already breaking tradition. They're already going to show games that are not coming out in 3 or 4 months. They're coming out in 5, 6, 7. You know what I mean? Like they're showing that stuff. So, and you could be saying, well, after those two games are done, again, like after they're announced, I should say, all eyes turn to Harry Potter. This is a big deal. This is a game that so many people have been wanting. And, we saw the website listings. We saw that there's like a Harry Potter fandom that they kind of listed that. I really do think that before and I think I've said this, right? Like when we get into the fall, I really don't see how they can go through it without announcing Harry Potter. October is also kind of a special thing, right? Because October is 2 years to October that we first heard about this game, that we haven't seen it. Now, again, could it be at the Game Awards? Could it be at just a random event that they want to throw themselves for this fall? Absolutely. They still really have to talk about Fantastic Beasts 3. If they wanted to do an event where they did something like, okay, let's show you, or because they actually haven't even started filming yet, so there's not much they could show, but let's talk about what Fantastic Beasts 3 is going to be. Let's maybe give the title of the movie, right? And then let's show you this Harry Potter game, both of which, by the way, are coming out in fall of 2021. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that could very well be the path they go. At the same time, again, we're going to be on a pretty high after DC Fandom. You know what I mean? Like, DC Fandom happens, and then Gamescom is a couple days after. Look, I think it's almost a slam dunk that we would get additional stuff, especially for maybe the Batman game at Gamescom, which I'll be talking about, over the next coming weeks. I think that's going to happen. Why not do this? I mean, that would be, think about it, that would be absolutely amazing that we just got done with DC Fandom, we get those two game announcements, and then all of a sudden, 5 days later, maybe we see a little bit more of Batman, and then they announce the third, the triad of Warner Bros. Games, right? And they announced this Harry Potter game. I think it's possible. I think it's probably more likely this year than it was last year. At the same time, with all of these, and I think honestly, as a human, I have matured and just gotten better with handling these kind of things. I mean, you know me. I always get excited about these things. When I make these videos, I always talk like very, very fast, very, very energetically. And honestly, a lot of times I give myself hope and I give myself excitement as these videos go on. So I get that, and I'm sorry if I've ever done, if I've ever misled you in that way. But honestly, I mean, I'm so pumped about this Harry Potter game. Like, I really want it. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, I've talked about these 3 games in the past. I think Harry Potter could be the best one. I think, honestly, easily, it could be the best of these 3 games. I truly, truly do believe that. So it's not like I'm not excited. At the same time, you got to keep our expectations in check. I think if anything that I've learned since I've started talking about Harry Potter, this game, is that we can be very excited for these things, but at the same time, we gotta, I think, keep the main mission or the main theme in our head, which is, by the way, let's go over it together. The game is real. The game does exist. They are working on it. It is coming out. That's that. You know what I mean? Like, it's you can say it whichever way you want. But I think at the end of the day, as long as we're still all in the same boat, that this game is very much real. I've never given up on this game. I've never given up on the Batman game. I've never given up on a Rocksteady game. Obviously, this game and Warner Bros. Montreal's Batman game have been the hardest to stay passionate and stay locked in. I mean, and I don't mean like recently, because I think recently there's been more evidence than ever that they exist, right? But over the past several years, it's been very hard if you've been staying with it all the way through, right? And honestly, we all deserve to give ourselves a pat on the shoulder. But when it comes to Gamescom, it really depends on the quality. Like I say with a lot of these shows, and ironically, they're more like Jeff Keighley shows, and I've said it before. Like, I think he's an amazing guy. He seems really. I mean, I would love to one day be able to talk to him, right? He seems absolutely awesome. But at the same time, these events, they can go one way or the other. There's been big game awards, no doubt about it. He's had, and even in smaller game awards, he's had big announcements. So it's not like he's never done anything. Gamescom last year had a couple big surprises in it, right? It's not like they're always failures, but they always do, including, and even from me, right? They're always hyped up, and from him mainly. He hypes them up pretty well. He does a really good job at that, right? So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, I think we'll know very early on in this Gamescom if it's going to happen. You know what I mean? If it starts off and it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of like anything that we thought that could have been done through Summer Games Fest that wasn't, or could have been at E3 but it wasn't because it was canceled, and then just never made it in any of these shows or conventions or anything. If they all show up at his game, you know what I mean? If his Gamescom is kind of like a wrap up to the summer, where we see some things that we've already seen, but we get some new info, we get some brand new things, we get some major announcements that could have been. And another thing to remember is, again, and I just literally thought of this right now, so even I forgot it. So let's all remember this together. Remember, E3, if E3 was happening, at this point, we would have gotten all 3 of them. Remember, Warner Bros. Was going to announce Batman, Rocksteady's game, and Harry Potter. It's not like Harry Potter was left out. At E3, this past June, the June that was supposed to happen, the E3 that was supposed to happen, Warner Bros. Was supposed to go and announce Harry Potter. So it's not like they're not ready. It's not like they don't know that they want, you know what I mean? It's not like they're not aware that people want this game announced. It's not like they're not aware that they're able to do this, because they seem like they're very able to do it, right? So you have all those things happening. Here we are. By the time Gamescom happens, that's 2.5 months from when E3 was supposed to happen. I get what's happened around the world has delayed a lot of stuff. I have no doubt it's delayed in some way, this Harry Potter game. But at the same time, if you were expecting yourselves to announce this game to the public in early June, you can for sure do it in a Gamescom kind of wrap-up summer thing. You know what I mean? And honestly, saying that does give me maybe the most hope. I really should have led with that, so hopefully you guys stuck through it till the end. I really think that can help the argument, if you want to make it, about being a Gamescom. Look, I think at the end of the day, Jeff Keighley's going to have a couple big, any presentation needs kind of like a couple big moments to it, you know what I mean, to kind of, and the rest of it, you could call it padding, you could call it whatever you want, really, right? But I really think Harry Potter could be it, you know what I mean? I've said it before, I've said it even in this video, so I'll say it one last time. I do not think we'll get to the end of 2020 and the game won't be announced. I think it'll either be a Gamescom, some random moment between September and November, or the Game Awards, okay? I think that's absolutely the way it's going to be. At the same time, again, what I just said, supposed to be announced in June, 2.5 months later. I mean, if you want to say that the you-know-what that went on around the world, if you want to say that delayed things by 1, 2, 3 months, kind of lines up, right? So I think, you know what, guys? I feel pretty strong about this. I'm not for sure. I'm not saying, guarantee, all of us that when Gamescom is happening that it's going to happen. But I do think it's possible. Like I said, it's absolutely way more likely and way more possible than it was last Gamescom, okay? So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you think this is something that's going to happen? Do you think it would be announced there? What would you want to see from the trailer? All of those kind of things. Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And thank you all so much for watching new Harry Potter videos every couple weeks. And hopefully, within a couple of weeks, we're going to be able to make a whole lot more Harry Potter videos than I normally make, okay? Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope to see you there.